Good evening. Welcome. We're going to go ahead and call our regular board meeting to order. Thank you for joining us. We're glad to see so many in our audience. We want to thank you for making the trip out here. We'll go ahead and start with our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Victory.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond,
Here.
Director Kelly,
Here.
Director Watts,
Here.
President Levesque,
Here.
Director Knapp,
Here.
Student Advisor Nichols, Student Advisor Reed, here, Superintendent Sweeten.
Here. Thank you. Next, we'll have our approval of the regular meeting agenda. Is there any changes anyone would like to make to the agenda? Or is there a motion to approve it as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I will second that motion.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the regular meeting agenda as presented. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond,
Yay.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Watts,
Aye.
President Levesque,
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. The agenda is approved as presented. And next on the agenda is a presentation. We're delighted to welcome our Arlington High School Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Course 61st Eagle Squadron for a mission brief. And we want to welcome Major Mike Blue, Chief Master Sergeant Richard Jones, Captain James Scott, Cadet First Lieutenant Abigail Kemp, Cadet First Lieutenant Josiah Christopherson, and Cadet something,
Senior Master Sergeant.
Senior Master Sergeant Christopher Pollock, and Cadet Senior Airman Jack DeWitt. Did we get it all right?
Yep.
Yep. Well, welcome. Come on up.
Good evening. I want to introduce myself. I am retired Chief Master Sergeant Richard Jones. Newly as hired aerospace science instructor for the junior ROTC. You've already introduced the team, but I want to mention that Cadet Senior Airman Jack DeWitt fell ill, so he will not be joining us tonight for the brief, but the rest of the team is here.
Thank you. Welcome.
Cap staff.
Good evening, I am Cadet Captain James Scott. Here is our squadron mission brief. Our topic of discussion is the mission, our chain of command, our squadron goals, our cadet staff, our community service, our cadet skills, competitions, leadership and development requirements, curriculum action, and morale, welfare, and recreation. Our chain of command, first is our Cadet First Sergeant Christopher Pollock. He is our first sergeant, so he deals with all of our enlisted cadets. Second is Cadet Deputy Commander Abigail Kemp. She is my advisor basically to whatever I need done that I can't personally take care of. And then me, Cadet Squadron Commander, I'm in charge of all the cadets, making sure they're performing their duties throughout the day. And then our aerospace science instructor, Chief Jones, he helps us and guiding the corps. And then our senior aerospace science instructor, Major Blue, he is the commandant of cadets. He makes sure the squadron is running smoothly and everything is being accomplished.
Hi, I'm Cadet First Lieutenant Abigail Kemp. I am going to be talking about the mission and our core values. Okay, there we go. So we have our integrity first, service for self, for oneself, and excellence in all we do. And those are the things that we want our core to abide by and make sure that they will stand by it. And knowing that when they have integrity, they do the right thing in the right spot. And like an example with cadets that could be lying or not doing the right thing, we want to make sure that they are doing the right thing. So we have our honor code and our mission statement. They're in our classroom so that everyone knows what is expected of them.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Christopher Pollock, and I'm going over our squadron goals with you. Our goals include cadet, community, and school impact. For cadet, we want all of our cadets to be passing. We want them to strive to be better than their fellow cadets, but also be respectful to them. For community, we want to be involved in our community and communities around us. We want to have 1,400 hours, community service hours by the end of the year. And we have about 600 at this time. And then for school impact goals, we want 100% graduation rate for our seniors. And then we also want to get our recruiting numbers way up than what they are now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cadet First Lieutenant Josiah Christopherson, and I have the distinct pleasure of going over the next 3 slides with you. I would like to start off with our top 3. They've already been introduced. I'm just going to dive a little bit more into their jobs in our corps. To start off, we've got our first sergeant, Cadet Senior Master Sergeant Christopher Pollock. He's just kind of there to help cadets either emotionally or physically. If they're going through a hard time during school, he's there as a backup. If they would rather have that more personable experience, because I understand that for our new cadets, talking to our teachers is a little bit rough. Our deputy commander, Cadet First Lieutenant Kemp, she's, like Scott said, there as kind of a backup. She's the water behind the dam. She's there if our cadet staff is not doing what they need to, if he's just really busy with other things because he does sports. He's another student in our school. She's there to make sure that things get done. And then Cadet Captain James Scott is our squadron commander. He's kind of like an advisor for our cadet staff here. He makes sure that things get done. He leads events. He's a fantastic role model. That's kind of his job in our corps. And then I'm only going to be going into 3 positions here just because there's so many. Our logistics, they're in charge of all of our equipment. They're in charge of our uniforms. They make sure that everything is put into our database for the Air Force so that things don't get lost because everything's expensive right now. And they're in charge of getting our cadets their uniforms. Next up, we have personnel. They're just in charge of filing all the paperwork, making sure that everything statistically is organized. And then finally, Kitty Hawk. They're there to plan our fundraisers. They help academics with cadets who aren't doing too good in their classes. And they're just kind of those leaders in our classes. There we go. Next up, we have community service. Community service is one of the things that we pride ourselves on as a squadron. We do minuscule tasks in our school, whether it's cleaning up after events or what's a little bit more significant, putting up the flag in the morning and taking it down after school, to helping Snohomish County Rescue Service train their dogs, which is probably one of my favorite events. Like Christopher Pollock said, right now we're at about 650 hours of community service, which we want to almost triple that by the end of the school year, which right now we're on track. We like to have roughly 8 new events that we haven't done within the years. And right now we've gotten 4 out of the 8 of those, and it's been a lot of fun. That's probably one of my favorite things about AFJROTC, just because we get to get out in the community, people get to see that we actually have an impact, and it's not just one of those classes in the school where it stops as soon as you leave those doors. And then cadet skills. We kind of pride ourselves on building cadets for their future, whether it's with college applications, with job interviews, or even just preparing themselves for life. We love to build confidence. Like myself, 8th grade year, I would never be able to do public speaking. Now I've spoken in front of our whole school. I'm speaking in front of you guys tonight. Just things like that. My leadership skills and our leadership skills as a whole have absolutely skyrocketed. Right now, we're leading a whole 100 almost cadets, and that's fantastic. We get to build teamwork, we get to build friendships, and it's a fantastic class to be in. Oops, too much.
Okay, competitions. So it is our drill and rifle conference. It is over the course of one day, but we have normally 3 or 4 of them. So it has our rifle marksmanship, which we shoot air rifles. And then we have our color guard, which you've probably seen at our Arlington High School when we present the colors. And then we have our arm drill team, which we have our exhibition routine, and then our drill card, which we perform during that competition. We each have our own time slot. Then we have our physical strength team, and the whole competition goes out through the whole day, and they each have their own time slot that they go through. And then that is just one of the competitions. We normally go to at least 3 schools that host them, depending on which one. We are also hosting ours in January, which is coming up real soon. And that is just overall of what competition is like. That's just kind of a quick overview of what it is.
I'm going over LDR, which it stands for Leadership Development Requirement. We have 3 different tiers for this. Tier 1, we have is our STEM, which has JLab and Cyber Patriot in it. JLab is, it stands for Joint Leadership Academic Goal. And then Cyber Patriot is just going on computers and stuff and trying to unhack them. Cyber defense, that's the word. Tier 2, competition teams, and then Kitty Hawk Honor Society. Tier 3, it's all of our planning committees, flag details, adopt a highway teams and saber teams. And then we have curriculum in action. Excellent. Yeah. We have our curriculum in action. That's our drill and rifle conference, which previously stated has 4 division competitions and then 1 regional, which is our championships. We have our orienteering competitions. Fort Casey, we just recently went to Fort Casey last week for a field trip for our survival classes. Cadet James Scott is planning a staff retreat with 9 other schools. And then a couple years ago, we actually went to iFly for our science of flight classes.
And then we have morale, welfare, and recreation, otherwise known as MWR. So what we do is we plan events for the squadron, so that way we keep our morale high. One of the things we do is Winter Balls, which is coming up on December 7th. We also do movie nights. We recently just had a drive-in movie at the high school. We had a whole bunch of cadets show up. We watched The Emperor's New Groove, pretty fun. We do game nights, that way kids can bring in games and play with each other in the classrooms. That way they interact with other people from different flights, because we're flights throughout the squadron, so you don't get to see everyone in the whole day. And then we have fundraisers. Fundraisers we use to get new equipment, do our events that we have so we can make them bigger and better. So some of them are Krispy Kreme fundraisers, and then selling our old uniforms that we can't put out anymore. And then we have our summary. So we went over the mission, chain of command, our squadron goals, cadet staff. Cadet skills are our community service, LDR, curriculum action, competition, and morale, welfare, and recreation. And then any questions?
Do you all ever have graduates come back?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot, right?
And like, what do they do?
They hang out throughout the day, tell us how their time was in the Corps, and they give us some advice on how to do stuff.
We get to learn about their stories a lot, which
Yeah.
is really cool because we've had people come from Okinawa, Japan. We've had people come from different states and just come and visit us, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I was gonna ask, how is the enrollment in the overall program? I know it struggled a bit in the past. I wanted to know if it's kind of rebounded or if it's still.
It's rebounding pretty well. This year we kind of hit a little dip, but otherwise we're getting up there.
How's the retention with your group from freshman year to senior?
We have a total of 16 cadets. I'm not sure how many we started out with, but so far it's pretty good. I don't remember how much we started.
As retention from freshman
Senior.
Yeah, 16 teams.
that started as freshmen?
Yes.
Oh.
And how many do you plan to go into the military? Any questions? From Director Diamond? There's a question. Oh, yes,
I can add a little bit to that. So if we look at the numbers as freshmen, let's say we had 50. By the time they become seniors, there's probably only about 16 to 20 that are still with the class. But of those 16 or 20, the number that actually goes in service is pretty high. But that doesn't mean everyone. We have, the last probably 10 years, we've had people that have done 4 years with us that are not interested in the military or can't go in the military for whatever reason. But it's that teamwork, the camaraderie, all the things they're talking about that draws them to the class.
what grade level are you for?
Seniors. Yeah, we're all
All four
seniors.
seniors?
Yes.
You're training the replacement as well.
Yep. That's right.
It's very polished presentation. Thank you. It never fails to impress you. Just every year it's the same, a very consistent group of polished, mature young people.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, gentlemen. And thank you. Thank you for being-
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
The next part of our meeting is our approval of our minutes. We have a set of regular meeting minutes from October 14th, and then our board special joint meeting with Lakewood School District minutes from October 21st. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from October 14th? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 14th.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Nat and seconded by Director Watts to approve the October 14th regular meeting minutes. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Nat.
Aye. Those minutes are approved as presented. Do we have a motion for our joint school district minutes from October 21st?
I make a motion, we approve the special joint meeting with Lakewood School District on October 21st.
I second that motion.
It's been moved by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the special joint meeting minutes with Lakewood School District from October 21st. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Nat.
Yes. Those minutes are approved as presented. And next up would be our public comments portion of our meeting. Do we have anyone signed up?
We do.
Thank you. And then the next portion of our meeting is our consent agenda. That includes our budget and enrollment reports, our personnel report, warrants, an overnight field trip for DECA, cross-country state champion field trip, presentation of a donation of covered baseball and fast pitch facility, and approval of the AHS athletics purchase of a pole vault pit, mental health counselor cooperative agreement renewal. Does anyone have anything they would like to pull for further discussion? Or is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Watts to approve the consent agenda as presented. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Nat.
Aye. The consent agenda is adopted, and we wanted to recognize one special part of our consent agenda that we just approved. And we're gonna have Brian come up and offer some thank yous.
Debbie, could you open the presentation that was attached to the donation item? It shows.
So we can do that for you. We'll do that for you. right
Okay.
now. You can move it.
And if I could get the representatives of Joey Dietrich Foundation to join me, please, and Coach Striegel as well. If they can join me up here. So joining me tonight are from the Joey Dietrich Foundation. We were kind of hoping the other guys would do our. They did a good job. So we've got Brooke Johnson, Carrie McBride, Bill Johnson, and Casey Jacobs from the Joey Dietrich Baseball Foundation, and Coach Scott Striegel from Arlington High School Baseball. I wanted to extend a special thanks and a highlight to the foundation for the donation of a covered batting facility at Arlington High School. just so you get an idea of the dimensions of it and where it would be located. The new building would be outlined here in red and yellow. It's located on the northwest corner of the football field adjacent to the existing batting facility, which is not covered. You can see here, just cages. This will be a great addition to the athletic program for both our baseball and fast pitch team. I want to briefly read a letter here that the foundation has provided. Dear Arlington School District, on behalf of the Joey Dietrich Baseball Foundation, it is our pleasure to present Arlington School District the financial and planning support needed for the build out of a covered baseball and softball facility to be located at Arlington High School. The donation and project are anticipated to be $125,000 with an expectation of break ground in late 2024 and complete in early 2025. The Joey Dietrich Baseball Foundation is pleased to be able to contribute to the Arlington School District with this effort, which will support the community and our youth for many years to come. We look forward to seeing this project take shape and ideally being ready for the use this coming spring. I share that. If you have questions or need additional information, feel free to contact us. So I just want to take a moment and thank you all for the enormous contribution. It's definitely needed. It never rains in Washington before baseball season. So this is just, this would be a great addition to the program. So thank you so much from the staff and administration at the Arlington School District.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. You want to take your picture?
Yeah, the back there. Come on over. I just want to be able to see the slide in the background. Looks great.
Thanks to Brian and Chris for all the help to get to this point as well. It's been months of planning.
And years of need.
Yeah, no doubt.
Can you swap places on the end? I just wanted to be able to see that behind you there. There you go. All right,
You guys.
that's better. Here we go. Right there. There you go.
Like that? Yeah.
There you go. It says program. I like it.
You're talking a lot.
Yeah, all right. Okay, look right here, please. There we go. Nice big smile. Hold it. Flash off of this one. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Looks great. One more. We got it. One more for insurance. There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing that.
Thanks for the support.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you for your generous donation to our graduating seniors every year.
Yes.
The next part of our meeting is our new business portion of our meeting. And the first one up is our interlocal agreement with our public hospital district 3 to support education for youth substance abuse, misuse, and prevention. Dr. Sweetie.
Yes, I want to, we've had to become entrepreneurs of being creative and innovative. And so this is a perfect example of that, is that we have a need to support the mental health challenges that our students have. And we've got different things going on everywhere to try to support that. But this particular interlocal agreement is with the hospital district number 3, and we have been working, I know myself and then Mary Levesque, the board president, we've been part of the birthing of a coalition that will be to promote healthier and more resilient youth in Arlington. And so to support this work, the hospital district and us believe that it's important to have one of our staff members, our director of equity and student well-being, who is a 0.6, so not full-time, to take some of that time that's available in her time to add to her contract. And the hospital district is willing to pay for that time. And so this is a partnership where they have funds available, and we would pay for that, and then we would invoice them and they pay us back. So it'd be reimbursed. And it would provide about one day in our district to work with them and us on this coalition work, which is focused on mental health and helping our students be healthier and more resilient. What questions do you have? And I know that the director of equity and student well-being, Carrie Helgeson, is in the room too, so she's a willing person to do this. This is a 1 year agreement. It's from from this month until the end of June. And literally it's about 1 day, about 1 day. It's about $30,000 worth.
And what does this, how, yeah, I'm not sure what that looks like. What does that time spent look like? Is it been coming to our facilities?
Can I pipe up?
Mary, can you-
So our first coalition meeting, we spent like probably 4 hours together, just kind of discussing some of the trends that were noticeable in the Healthy Youth Survey. And we did a data dive into the surveys and asked a lot of questions and had a lot of feedback and kind of gathered a lot of thoughts and questions and wonderings and concerns about what's going on with our kids and, well, why is this happening? And, well, can we get more data on this? And can somebody explain why this is happening? And these kids are struggling more at this grade level than these kids, and what are we doing? And it was a lot of really deep questioning. And so we all agreed at that meeting for some certain goals and like a mission and vision. And a lot of it was, we need more information as that coalition, and almost all of the things would be answered by Carrie's work in our district and on our behalf. So it was really we need more information, and we need to know why Arlington has such high rates of marijuana use compared to the county. Why does Arlington have such high rates of vaping compared to the county? The averages compared to
Yes,
Snohomish
higher than the
County.
county.
We're like
So we're the
twice-
highest in Snohomish County.
I don't know if we're the
On
highest,
vaping.
but like the numbers, I can't recall exactly how much, but I think
per
Arlington
capita.
had, no, for students,
Like
so like
county
8th
average.
graders,
Yeah.
10th graders, something like that. We were measuring the answers from the Healthy Youth Survey and the feedback that we were looking at. I don't remember the exact details, but it was like 13% for Arlington kiddos that were doing the substance abuse. And
So what they did was they compiled the Healthy Youth Survey for 8th, 10th graders in Snohomish County, and then we also pulled out Arlington, and Arlington was higher compared to the
Than
rest of
average.
Snohomish
Like
County.
13%
and
compared to
Washington State.
7%.
Okay.
Or something
And-
like that.
And how does that work with, so what is the relation? It sounds like it's an Arlington thing, so why do we have an agreement with the hospital district?
Their mandate is health, safety, welfare, community, so, right?
Other cities around us, Darrington, Marysville, Lakewood, Stanwood, have coalitions that they've formed over time that focus on an effort. So
Right.
with this coalition that's being formed right now.
Yeah.
It's focused on the substance abuse, educating our students and our community of substance abuse, misuse,
Right.
abuse, and prevention. And so the effort, we have an interest in that.
Right.
Since our students are being impacted about that, and that is challenging their mental health.
Yeah.
And their physical health, so that we're partnering with the hospital district in those efforts.
Okay, so if Carrie is the one, if we have the data, so what does that offer the hospital district then? What are they doing with that data? They're helping to send out the message of,
Well, the other night,
Coalition.
we had the screenagers,
Right.
we had the screenagers, the next chapter, or it's going to be the next chapter for the middle school, then we had the elementary. All of that is part of these efforts.
right, because, yeah, we got the money from the Snohomish County as a grant. Okay, so I'm just trying to, I think the alignment is awesome. I'm just trying to understand. It sounds like we have this information and then just, they're just a good tie-in to have a good partnership is what you're saying.
Right,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need, right, and we have other partnerships with Snohomish County and with Whatcom County. We had one for another survey that we did on our discipline. It's just another way to be innovative and connect with our,
Community partners, yeah, makes sense.
and
And then action will come, but I don't think, we
Right.
have one meeting so far, so we haven't gotten that far on the.
And later, I would suspect that I would be bringing to the board some kind of formal kind of interagency agreement when the coalition finally has the final, like, we're just outlining what we believe the mission is to be and what the scope of our work is to be. And so that needs to be refined and finalized.
Okay, sounds good.
Any other questions? That's good questions.
And our students, so the students on the Student Advisory Council, they're divided into different groups to work on like resources for staff about mental health issues, resources for students. And there's going to be students from the Student Advisory Council that will work with the coalition. They will help with that work as well. And so the work that Carrie would be doing with this extra time, which is really, is work that is a natural interconnection of what she already is doing.
Right. Right. Yeah, it says that on our stuff and then, yeah.
This is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the hospital district number 3 interlocal agreement to support education for youth, substance abuse, misuse, and prevention as presented?
Make a motion, we approve the public hospital district number 3 interlocal agreement.
I
I
second.
say the whole thing.
You did it.
I second.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by, no,
You
it's
initiated.
moved by Director Nat and then seconded by everybody else.
Yep.
Director Watts, yeah, we'll do that. To approve the interlocal agreement with the THD 3.
Director Diamond.
Yay.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Yeah.
Director Young.
Yes. The motion passes and the interlocal agreement is approved as presented. Next up is our interview of selected respondent to request for qualifications for architectural services. I'd like to welcome Brian Lewis, our Executive Director of Operations.
Thank you, directors. Board Policy 6925 is unique in terms of policies in the district in that it requires, since it's a reflection of state law as well, to periodically conduct request for qualifications process for architectural services. This is the only service that we're required to do this by state law. We recently conducted this process. I want to answer a question before you have it, hopefully. Why did we choose now to do this? And it has to do with the natural break in funding. We're almost complete with spending from the 2020 capital projects levy. And we're moving into the territorial planning for expenditure of the 2024 capital levy funds. And our attorney advises this is a good time, our construction attorney advises this is a good time for us to conduct this process. The last time we did it was in 2016 in conjunction with the study and survey process that we completed at that time and planning for the subsequent bond and capital levy elections that we brought to voters. So this is a natural break for us. We conducted the process over the past few weeks, starting with the publication of a request for qualifications, receipt of 6 different proposals. We narrowed it down to 3. The other 3 firms they had great qualifications, but they did not possess the depth of capacity that we need in terms of services. Of the remaining 3, the Facilities Advisory Committee listened to presentations and asked questions at a recent meeting and selected through a scoring process McGranahan Architects to recommend to Superintendent Sweeting. Superintendent Sweeting's recommendation mirrors that. And tonight we're looking for your blessing to continue into contract negotiations with McGranahan for the 2024 capital levy projects. So without further ado, I present to you Chris Lilly from McGranahan and Kate Frisbee from McGranahan. They're going to share the same presentation with you tonight prior to your consideration that was shared with us in the Facilities Advisory Committee last week. Thank you.
So can I stand on this? Absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Good evening, members of the board and Superintendent Sweeting. It's nice to be here tonight and thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. As Ryan said, we're going to do the same presentation that we did for the Facilities Advisory Committee, so it's not really tailored to this audience, it was for that audience, but we'll go through pretty quickly. It's a really short presentation. We are very, very excited about this opportunity to continue our relationship with the district. We've been working with the district for 26 years. I've been coming up personally for 24 years now, and we're looking to continue that relationship with you.
And the clicker is, there it is. It's slow tonight. McGranahan Architects, we've been in business for 56 years. We're down in Tacoma. We do nothing but school design. It's everything from pre-K, elementary, middle school, high school, college, university, and every type of facility that schools need and any type of project that they need, from the smallest painting job to the full-blown high schools. It's what we do. It's not one of our markets. It's the only market we're in, and that's what all of our staff do. We really truly believe in the power of education to change lives. We also believe that a really well-designed school and a well-maintained school can have a profound impact on students' ability to succeed. So we have, as a collective group and as individuals, committed our careers and our firm and our profession to building the best schools that we can build. We have 33 individuals on staff right now, and they bring the full diverse skill set that you need to do all the things that a school district needs. Everything from the designers and the technical strong architects, specification writers, interior designers, people who are specialized in sustainable design, people who specialize in educational planning, just a whole gamut of what we need. We have on staff and have access to it to bring to these projects. Everybody on that screen has done a project in Arlington at some point in their career, and they will again as we continue to move forward. Everyone knows how important this district is to us as a client. The folks who work the most closely with, along with Kate and I'm Chris Lilly. I'm managing principal for the Tacoma office. I've been with the firm for 32 years and spent my whole career doing school design. Yeah, I started here in Arlington in 2000 as the architect on the high school and have done a lot of work since then. My role will continue as it has been since I came back up at 16 and started working on the last levy projects. I'll be involved in every project from the outset, helping scope it, helping plan it, helping develop the budget, helping to strategize it. I meet with Brian every week and we'll keep that going to keep sure communication is always flowing in terms of what's happening with all the projects. On the far right there on the screen, Jason Gover, one of our more strong technical architects. He'll be the one to help us with put the documents together and do the construction phase support. He worked on the high school edition. He just finished up the Pioneer recladding, reroofing, and painting. He's now working on the President's project to get that work going. Next to him, Dion Sarah, one of our strongest PAs and project managers. He really succeeds at these kind of small works, medium-sized projects and organizing and keeping them moving quickly, the pace you need to be successful on this kind of a project. He worked on secure entries across the district, so I know almost every building in the district. And of course, one of our strongest senior PMs, Kate Frisbee, was here with me tonight, who really focused her career on the kind of work that's in this levy, all the small and medium-sized projects, and really learning how to be successful with that. And I'll let her talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So like Chris said, I'm a project manager and architect, so I wear many hats and sometimes changing them throughout the day. But the majority of my career has been focused on existing conditions. So additions, renovations, assessments, things like that. And I really do feel like these small works, working with existing conditions are just as important as Brent is designing and planning for new buildings. So we look at new buildings, you're trying to plan for the next 50 years. You know, in those 50 years, the building is in its useful life. There's a lot of things that happen. So folks like me come in and help with repairs and maintenance, the re-roofs, changing out systems like lighting and HVAC controls. And like I said, I really feel like those are incredibly important, and we've had a lot of great success in this last levy package. A couple of images, we've done more work than this, but got the Arlington High School addition, we've got the new drive aisle at Kent Prairie, the envelope improvements at Pioneer, and then I helped work on the extensive study for portables. So we looked at all the elementary school properties to see which ones had the best options for the addition of portables. So at Eagle Creek, that was one of our later summer, finishing that up fall. 2 new buildings on permanent foundations, so not temporary foundations. So 4 new classrooms for Eagle Creek. And we're right now working through the updated study and survey. So we also know the new post-middle school is a part of this next levy package. And we worked with you guys on the conceptual design to keep, to build a new school on the existing site so that the existing school can remain in operation during construction. So we don't need to help you find a new swing site. And we're super excited to be able to continue working with you on that when you pass the next levy here in the next few weeks. We've got pretty extensive experience with middle school design. It's kind of this interesting age range where they're not children exactly, but maybe they're not young adults just yet, but they're learning to have that extra responsibility to move from class to class throughout the day. So middle schools, you're gonna start to see, we've got images of 3 recent projects, but you see a lot of range and diversity in spaces and learning spaces. So a lot of individual design, group study, not design, individuals study, group study, classroom learning, and a lot of lab spaces are coming back into schools. So whether it's technology based or science, yeah. So yeah, we're super
Love the
excited. We're always looking at safety and security these days, as well as sightlines for supervision with this age group. And looking for every opportunity we're able to incorporate sustainability design as long as the project allows for it. And super excited for you to pass this levy, and we'll get you scheduled for tours on any of these buildings. I think there's 4 more middles in the SOQ package you've got too that has some narratives in there.
And for the record, we understand that we're not being hired necessarily for that yet, and we understand levy has passed, there may be another selection process, and this is not what's being asked tonight.
Right.
But we wanted to show you we do have the qualifications to do that. Again, we were sharing this with the facilities committee when we met with them last week. I think that we quickly went through our qualifications, a lot of talk and a lot of quick images. I think one of the things that makes us the best fit for the district is our long history with the district. We started in 1998, helping plan the bond for the high school. When that passed in 2000, spent a few years designing, permitting, constructing that building. Came back a little bit later and did the interior build out for the VPAC, which I think turned out as a fantastic space for, particularly at the time, there was nothing up here at the time for anybody to use. So it was really useful for the whole community. Came back in 14 to help with master plan. Again, in 16, as Barnard talked about, we started working on the 2020 levy stuff, the high school edition and all the levy projects. And those projects turned out to be very, very successful in terms of the kind of planning. Some of you were on the committee and you remember the exercise we went through on that plan. This is not the final list at all, but it's an illustration we used to help try to figure out where the community would support a bond or levy, excuse me. And then how prioritize what projects could make it above that line and try to figure out where do we spend the dollar, the most bang for the largest segment of the district. And we went through about 2 years of that planning exercise to get it to where we thought we could make a recommendation to the community. It turned out really, really well. All those projects that were promised to the community, the district promised, you delivered, and you delivered so far below budget, they were able to add scope to the significant scope. So the work at Pioneer was not contemplated originally, and we were able to make that from good sound planning. The work at Presidents came from that sound planning and the execution within the budgets that we had set in a pre-levy planning. We were able to do a robust update to your master plan so that we thought about every piece of property that you own for the next 30 years, what it's going to take to help it to respond to growth, what's it going to take to help keep it running and functioning properly, how you're going to respond to curriculum changes as those things come up. And give the district a roadmap in 4-year cycles of how to plan the facilities growth. It was from that document that we pulled out the work that's in the 2024 levy. So all those projects that are in there, we've already scoped, we've already budgeted, we've already thought through. We've been through, between the two of us, every square inch of every one of your buildings in the district. But we're not resting on our laurels of what we've done in the past. We really are thinking, how can we help the district as you move forward? We don't want to just be your architect for small works. We want to be your architect in any aspect. You need us to be your architect to help you be successful at the district as you grow, as you develop, as you move forward. And we're hoping that you will put your trust in our firm again to help you with this next phase of work.
Quick question, where is, in this particular park, I see that parking lot, where is SVLC in that? Because I'm
Right with the green marker is.
Yeah.
down there, okay, I could not, I saw the video that Gary this weekend, I'm like, where did SVLC go? Okay, just was
It's
curious,
just out of the.
just on the periphery, okay.
That was a presentation we gave to the committee the other day. Are there any questions you have for us?
I just would ask, I work at a building, I don't know if McCrannon did it back, I work at Cougar Creek Elementary. And I know Dr. McDuffie was on there at the time. So as a teacher there currently, I look like, wow, there was some interesting thought in that design, but then the versatility. The colors are primary. I will just argue that yellow is not the ideal color for first grade. Yeah, it's more bright than the school buses. Not a color I would recommend. So I just kind of laugh because I wonder how many teachers were at the table at that design. Because it's some of the design in that particular building, but it feels like today that you continue to get input and feedback. And I would look for, if I'm to select a school or nuances, I would say I would want versatility. And what used to be a first grade room is now transitional kindergarten, right? So what can we do as the needs of our community change, as growth ebbs and flows, that to me would be something I want to make sure that space can do that. And then secondly, when Brian was talking last week at our Golden Eagles, we were talking about how much public space, how much the public uses our school facilities. And we have Boys and Girls Club, yes, but we really have to think about, to me, schools are the heart of the community. And on so many ways, I mean, Burns Performing Arts Center and how many folks come through there, and you have the community, you have the schools, and they're really intertwined. So I would want to make sure that, especially for our middle school, that we have the volleyball facilities available and the cheer practice and the lacrosse team. And like, I just want to make sure it's a place for our community.
I absolutely appreciate that. I will say Cougar Peak is not a project that is on our high on our resume. We learned from every project, and that was quite a while ago.
So
We learned a lot from that. Yeah, so I don't brag about that.
I'm happy. It's newer, so it's kind of entertaining. But we always laugh about the sharp angles. And
Yeah, a couple of the design decisions that building it weren't so smart. But we do absolutely involve anything. If we're doing a re-roof, we'll just work with Brian and their staff, because a re-roof isn't going to affect anybody. But if we're moving into like Pioneer, where we're painting, and we involve people at the school, people in the district, to say, help us decide what's the right palette, what's the right color, what's the right message. If we're moving into adding on to a high school or adding on to a building, now we have to get more people involved. Who's in those programs? How they engage? If we're doing a whole school, now we're community, students, teachers, the whole group, to make sure we're getting a broad enough input to understand what does the community need for those projects.
So, can I add to that, really quick? This is my experience with McGranahan and, their work incorporating, school staff into design. When they were designing the addition to Arlington High School, there were a huge number of staff, teachers, and administrators involved in the design of that addition. And it wasn't just the addition on the ceiling, there's also the remodel of the administration area and the addition of the secured entryway. So there were lots of different voices heard during that process. The flip side of that is that, you talk to 100 staff members, but you also have 100 project managers. So they held, our feet to the fire during the construction of the project and the finishing of it as well.
I just want to say thank you for your, collaboration and the designs, and I'm super excited. I love the sight lines and the accessibility that I'm seeing here, and excited for this project. And I would love to see someday, just a little personal note, to work with you guys on maybe a swimming pool in our district.
It's nothing which is too far to go.
What?
Dream big.
Dream big.
Dream big.
I'm not alone in that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Does our student advisor have any questions about our architect? I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you for your continued excellence in keeping our schools looking good and working good. And we appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you.
It's our honor.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is another action item. Do we have a motion to approve the recommendation from the superintendent selecting McGranahan Architects as the provider of architectural services for the projects funded by the 2024 capital levy?
I make a motion that we approve the select respondent to request for qualifications for architectural services.
I second that motion.
It's been moved by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the architectural services for McGranahan Architects for the 2024 capital levy. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond,
Yes.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Watts,
Yes.
President Bavette,
Yes.
Director Now.
Yes. Motion passes, and the RQ RFQ for architecture services is approved. Thank you very much. I'm not saying that whole thing again. I just read that 3 times. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Nice seeing you in person and not on Zoom for a change.
All right, and you're welcome to stay. You don't have to.
Driving back to Tacoma.
And next up is our, next item is our 2024 WASDA conference presentation, our presentation review. Dr. Sweetie.
Yes, during the study session, the board we reviewed their parts for the upcoming conference presentation. We have a breakout session that will be on Thursday and from 4:20 to 5:20. The name of our breakout session is utilizing perspectives for informed decision-making, our listening and learning journey. And that's a picture on the front there of the most recent student voices at Eagle Creek, I believe. Yes. So what we're going to do right now is we're just kind of going slide by slide so that the board, you can see what's on the presentation. We made some suggestions already during the study session. And so this will be modified for that, but just to give you, see this, but also give any feedback. So that's, go on to the next slide. This says, welcome, everybody. Like that picture. The theme here for this as we go through is we've been on this journey. We're continuing on the journey, and there'll be bus stops, and I'll show that in a moment. We will introduce ourselves at the conference, and the whole board, all board members will be there, student advisors included. Next slide, please. We'll be explaining the purpose of our session, which is talking about how important utilizing voices is. So next slide. And ways that we listen and engage, and that just lists different ways, and we'll talk a bit more about that during the session. Next slide. And this is, there was so cute. There was some
People in there.
So this is like a journey where there's throughout, way back in 1996, we added student advisors to our board. And so this journey, this listening and learning journey has been, we've been on this road and we're going to continue on it. Just added different ways that we can hear and listen to the perspectives of all of the people that are with us and alongside of us to make better decisions and take better actions. So anyway, I'll talk a bit about that journey. And then the next slide. This is just some reasons why. The next slide, please. And then I show them that we're utilizing collective perspectives and collective visions. I'll tell a little bit about the tapestries, how the tapestries represent a joint effort with groups of people like the board and district leaders about their vision and things that they would do to take action to benefit kids. And then the next slide, it's our bus stop 1. And so our bus stop 1 would be our student advisors, which again, we added them in 1996. And Deja and Nathan would share the benefits and the value of being a student advisor on the board and how it benefits the district, but also themselves as students and other students. Next slide, please. And then they'll talk a bit about there's student advisors in action. Try to find some more pictures too, but I think if anybody has some good pictures to send my way, that'd be great too. Next slide. Bus stop 2 is listening to voices on district committees, and Director Knapp will be speaking to this. These are some pictures of a couple of the committees. There's a list there of the committees, and we're just going to share with the other school board directors that are in our session about how we add all students and community. That's that one. And on each of these slides, it has buses, different pictures of buses. A couple of them are our buses. One's going through a big pool. Anyway, next slide. We'll be talking about, this is demonstrating all the students that we have on the different district committees. Is this the one, Debbie, is this one of our buses?
This is the one in the, flood area, yeah.
Yes, this is what
The
the
high water,
Yes.
high water
Diana.
area.
Yeah, Brian's go, what? Okay, next slide, please.
What, wait, I didn't know about this.
And
There
this
goes-
bus stop 3, open public communication, Director Watts will be just sharing about this. Just different ways that we seek public comment at our board meetings, seek feedback from them during interviewing, for like principals and for board members themselves. Next slide, please. The next bus stop is bus stop 4, it's Student Voices, and I believe it's Mary, can you share that? And if you go to the next slide, it has from last year. I mean, we have responses from the last 8 years, but this has just from the last year. So from 2023, 24, the top answers. So President Levesque is going to just kind of give highlights of this, not read all that, but highlights. Then the next slide is actually showing actions as we're listening to the feedback that we have taken, and it's in the form of at the elementary level, at the secondary level, and at all levels. What have we done? And I'll tell you what, there's elementary, no swings yet. Except the 5th graders at camp did have swings at camp, so I guess we accommodated in one spot. Okay, next slide, please. Staff voices, I believe Erica, you're doing, Dr. Knapp is doing that. And that's a picture of all of our staff this year in the BPAC on District Day. Next slide, please. And it's the same concept. It's working. The questions that we ask staff, what's working well or worth celebrating? What are the areas that need improvement and what areas, whoops, got the same word, we'll have to fix that. The third one over. Well, these are drafts, we're still evolving.
Different answers. to pick up.
Different answers,
Yeah.
just the top header would be what are ideas and things that you want to see.
Yeah, and that's important. I like that you include that because you have to say what's working well, what do we still need to work on? Yeah.
Right, so it shows you the areas of need.
Yep.
And then the next slide are the actions. What are some of the actions we've taken? And now this one looks like this one.
Same slide.
Yeah, so I think on the staff one, we need to just check that.
I will, I just didn't have.
I know, but just.
Wait,
I'll
I
put it
double
in.
check the work this evening.
Right,
We've been writing to study session.
Yeah, right. I need it right.
I like that it's
We want the
organized too by
time.
broken up
I
by
wanna,
elementary, secondary
I
and
just wanna
everything.
check. Oh, that's right, that was one of the ones that we had to add.
Such a placeholder.
Yeah, it's a
Yep.
placeholder,
That
thank
works.
you. Okay, so we got that, there's another spot for that one, the next one is, next slide is the community voices. So that's bus stop 6, and that picture at the bottom is just one that we just took at the.
All the leaves, is that ours? Is that our area?
No,
it's not ours. It's
No, really pretty. And then the next one I think is a plate, well, it has, this is a combination of the community voices that we just had and also the one last spring.
Mhm.
So it's got a combination,
Good.
but the next slide is a placeholder because we have to add that. Or is this the right one?
You
Actions
Oh,
taken.
I
I
guess
think
we
you said
did
that.
one.
You completed it.
Yeah, you said it just didn't pop up.
And
Yeah.
then you.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
good. Well, there you go. So we have taken action.
We might want to keep that capital levy and just put that a little asterisk by it and see if we have good news to report. by
Well,
it.
we will by this time. by
I
the
know
time.
we do.
I mean, and I don't know what the news will be, but we will be able to report on.
When do we turn this into WASDA? When do we send it?
It's due by the 13th.
Okay.
There,
so
yeah.
time.
Well, yeah.
Okay, next slide, please. Then we're gonna, Sherry, this is where you'll tell
Yeah.
them to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like we're in first grade, turn and talk.
Yeah, you've got that. Next slide, please. And then this is stop 7, although I think we're adding a couple stops, but this, according to this, is the surveys. And we've got Director Diamond that's going to talk about that, and it talks about the same things on your talking points, but then it also has those 4 areas. And then the next slide, please. And you'll be able to talk about the student advisor.
Oh, let's get rid of the little table.
Yes, we have our advisor sitting there, and then it has one of the questions that we pulled out.
Definitely our thoughts.
Says so.
Yeah.
Could be
Yes,
Texas
that
or,
says.
could be Texas or DC though.
No, it's number 16. Arlington's
Oh,
focus
okay,
on number
okay.
16. Okay, next slide, please. Then district leadership team voices. So of all the leaders in the district, I met with them one-to-one. So the next slide, please, is feedback from them. This is last spring and summer when I met with them, what's working, what needs improving, what do you want to see in the next 5 years? And there is a common theme among, whether it's staff, the students don't mention it as often, but staff and the community, and that's replaced. Next slide, please. This is the actions that we've taken. One of the things that they had asked, well, I won't go into the details here, but these are some actions. And then next slide. This is the Student Advisory Council and I'll have to fix that SAC. Covered it by the bus. But I think Director Diamond is taking this one. Yep. So it has the whole group. This is this year's group. This is our 3rd year. Next slide, please. There you go. So,
This is
some
where we
of the
pull out our.
projects
This is the mustache for sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and then it has the mental health forum. Thank you, Sherry, for.
Thank you, Debbie, for jazzing it up.
Yeah,
She made it pretty.
Yes. Next slide, please. And then we have SAC at work, and this is just taken from the, one of our recent, need to talk more about what we're doing there. And next slide is, this is new. This last spring, I decided to meet individually with each of the people in this building. So this district office voices, and so they shared with me the next slide is these are right from them, that what's working, what areas need to be improved in the next 5 years. What would they like here? And then the next slide is the actions. And, we're just getting started on that.
That's nice.
I know, but we're
Just
just getting
messing, just
started.
Oh, check those boxes. We're good.
We're getting started. Maybe there'll be a bit more. The next slide is, I think, getting close to the end. So what we're gonna add, we talked about this at the study session, is we're gonna add connection with the tribe, the Still tribes, tribal voices. And if there's one other, then we may add another stop for another, there's a, on the map. So that's what we have.
Okay.
Our presentation so far.
Hello.
Isn't that pretty right there?
Yes, I can tell that's not our bus because it has no words. Yeah,
I know.
it doesn't say must stop at railroad crossings or.
Yeah, why doesn't it have? That's
Because it's fake.
It's AI.
It's AI, it's AI.
No plate either.
No plate either.
Oh.
Good
that's
call.
Oh,
weird.
gosh. That's a violation by sticking on our screen.
Oh, that's because
Free.
they're free
I don't-
photos.
It's still
Yeah.
fake and we don't have any copyright issues. Yeah.
No, thank you, Danielle. We appreciate you so much. So anyway, that's what I have. So,
Okay, it's exciting.
Yay.
I'm just so excited we get to.
Pull it off in 1 hour. We can do it.
yeah, that's,
When you drink coffee before the break.
Yeah. Not to go for a run.
That's right.
All right, next up on our agenda is our first reading of board policy 3432, emergency preparedness and response. Welcome back, Brian.
Hello again. So policy 3432 defines our responsibilities in regards to emergency preparedness. It's quite comprehensive and reflective of RCW and WAC. There is one change to the policy that we're bringing to you tonight, and it's highlighted in red here. Include how substitute teachers and other temporary employees receive necessary information about safe school plans, including school safety policies and procedures and the basic functional drill responses described below. So just to explain to you how this happens, we have periodic substitute certificated and classified staff orientations throughout the year. And props to HR back there. The presentation that we provide to them is quite comprehensive and includes a component on school safety and emergency response inside the building. So we were complying with this prior to its being a requirement. That is the change that's in policy.
Nice, thank you.
Is there any additional changes or edits anyone would like to make? This is our first reading, so we'll be back at our next meeting or second reading. Next up is our second reading adoption of board policy 6020, system of funds and accounts. And we'd like to welcome Gina Zudenhorst, our Executive Director of Financial Services.
Hello. So yeah, second reading of this policy, and there's really not a ton to it, and there wasn't really a lot of questions at the last reading. So we can just quickly review what the changes were and then go from there. It really was the first bullet there was really not a lot of change in language. It was just condensing or making the bullets more like the WASDA policy guidance had given. And on the second page, there's some red where it added in the uses of voted bonds. It expanded a little bit to clarify some of the purposes for which those can be used, that is legal and allowable purposes. Not that we need that for ourselves at this time or plan to, but and I can't even really give you an example of when that would come into play. But this makes it so that it is contemplated in advance in our policy or procedure when or if the time should come where we would want to utilize that. And then it changes a lot of the word school to district throughout the policy. And then lastly was a little part where in the transportation vehicle fund area, it updates the policy to show that there's a new allowable use of transportation vehicle funds, and that is for completing feasibility plan to transition from gas or diesel school buses to electric or zero emissions buses, etc. So it's something interesting and good there. And again, that's not something we're necessarily embarking on, but it is contemplated now and listed in our policy so that we are set and covered.
Overthinking. Could be good hydrogen on there.
Are there any proposed changes or corrections? Do we have a motion to approve for second reading adoption board policy 6020?
I'll make a motion to approve second reading and adoption of board policy 6020.
I second that motion.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Diamond to approve for second reading adoption board policy 6020, system of funds and accounts. Madam Clerk?
Director Diamond,
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts,
Aye.
President Babette,
Yes.
Director Young.
Yes.
That motion is passed and board policy 6020, system of funds and accounts is adopted as presented. Thank you. Next up is our informational items. I'd like to start with our superintendent's report.
So I'd like to share more thank you notes from our students that received the Merrill McGuire Mayo Endowment Scholarship. Thank you so very much for taking the time to support my academic future. Words cannot express how grateful I am for such a sizable and generous scholarship. This will aid tremendously in my education at Everett Community College to receive my AA. Then hopefully attend Western Washington University. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. In this note, I wanted to contact you and express just how much gratitude I have towards you for the scholarship you have blessed me with. With these funds, you have allowed me to enter into college and further my education at Washington State University with lessened sense of financial concern. Thank you once again for your generosity and the opportunity you have provided me. I would again like to thank you for your generosity in providing these funds. Being able to attend college is helping to make my dream come true, and I would never be able to do it without your help. I will continue to work as hard as I can to get through school and accomplish my goals. I appreciate your continued support. You have no idea how much it means to me. I want to express my gratitude for the scholarship given to me that has allowed me to pursue my dreams. This scholarship has allowed me the opportunity to live in a new state, pursue a 4-year degree, and continue playing basketball. It is with honor that I announce that I'm going into my final year of college, and that is because of your help. I am very grateful for the way you have helped my family, and I thank you so very much. And then the last one for tonight. Thank you. It has always been my dream to go to college and earn the education that my family has dreamed for me. Without your scholarship, that wouldn't be as easy for me. I am proud to say that I am attending Harvard College in the fall to pursue a degree in mathematics or physics. Thank you for seeing the potential within me and contributing to my future. It truly means the world. So those are, part one, and that we give, it's, pursue a dream, and we want to do that for all students. And then the Tempest opens up this next weekend. We have some exciting football games coming our way. Elementary conferences are this week, half days. And we have a vote that's out on the ballot. Ballots are due on November 5th, so please vote. And we have some board member birthdays. So happy birthday to Nicole coming up soon. And then our student advisor, Nathan Nichols, his birthday is this week too. So happy birthday to them with him. And I won't say happy birthday.
Thank you for that report, Dr. Sweeting. Next up is our legislative update and discussion. Director Kelly.
I honestly don't have a lot to update you on. We're immersed in election season, so we're hoping for the best. I think that I will say thank you to many parties at our district for working so hard to include our legislators. I think there's not a weekend going by, I don't see a picture of Clyde Shaver somewhere, just all grinning with the different schools he migrates around. But I feel like that is our offering to people who represent us in Olympia, and we are stakeholders, and it gives us a seat at the table. So I appreciate the efforts that you all make to let them know why we matter. And yeah, so I just appreciate that so much, and look forward to hopefully getting down this year to Day on the Hill. I think they've got a different timeline this year because it's a longer session. But I was inspired by when I did one of the sessions with the leadership. There's a school board director who went to Olympia, and he had the students with him, and he inspired me because the legislator they were talking to did most of the talking. And he very politely, I would envy his ability to be so kind, but he very kindly suggested, we're here for the kids and they have prepared speeches and they would like to talk. And I sort of regret that I didn't take more of that opportunity with the students that were with me that day from Whitby, because they were nervous and they had worked so hard on these speeches, and this particular person did not seem terribly interested in hearing their voice. And I find that unfortunate because it is about them, and that we know it's down the hill for the kids to come or the directors to come. So I like that opportunity, but just it's, I think Deja would not have a problem interjecting and being a demonstration of leadership. I look forward to having you there. But it's a great opportunity for young people to see that in action. And I think we're kind of all equals on that particular day. So thank you for the district so much.
Thank you. Next up is our comments from board members. And I would like to start with our student advisor, Deja.
I don't think I have very much to say right now, honestly. I would like to say though, I really appreciate everyone that came tonight, and it was actually pretty exciting for me. It was like the first time that so many people had come to a school board meeting that I've been a part of the school board for. So it was like kind of exciting to see just like so many people be here. Like it wasn't a ton of people, but it was exciting. And I was like seeing other kids from my school doing things that they're passionate about and that they care about, and that will contribute to their future success. So that was really cool to see, actually. But I think that's it. I don't really have anything else right now.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. It is fun to have a student presentation and to see them shine. It's pretty remarkable. Next up, Director Nat, you have anything you'd like to share?
I think it's also exciting to have guests. I love presenters, so thank you to everybody who presented. I, appreciate it. And also, that was really cool going to the Lakewood School District and sitting with their board and in their beautiful high school and so I guess thanks to them and looking forward to more collaboration and hearing our similarities, but also the differences. So that was really cool to hear about a different community and the way that they manage their district. And then the next time we get together, we'll have the results of the election. So yes, looking forward to that. I guess I'm feeling hopeful. And McGrann had a great presentation that I think made us all just like wish and hope. So yeah, I know. We can do it. We can do it.
Director, anything else?
Yeah, just like to say to the 4 viewers on YouTube, go out and vote. It's just important. So I'm excited for this election too. I'm hopeful. So yeah, please just go out and vote.
Director Kelly, anything else you'd like to add?
Just I can appreciate conference time for our teachers and our parents. I like it when parents show up. It gives me a time to get to know the parents a little bit more. So, and I also realize the importance of building the relationships prior to today. So that when today becomes a more challenging conversation, the relationship is there. So it goes a little deeper. And yeah, just partnership with parents is everything. So as I said last week in the Lakewood, I'm happy to see that there's a connection with both districts having earlier conference times, not waiting until November. There's still lots of time to help the kiddos out if they're getting a little off track. So, yay.
Director Watt?
I was very fun to see, I knew 3 of those young people today and just see how they've matured and grown since freshman year is just so delightful. And then I got to give my cross country update. So boys and girls both took first at Leeds, which was really huge. And 4 of our boys made the podium. And several of our girls. So I think 6 of the girls on to districts.
Good job. So exciting. Thank you. Can I share about yesterday? Yeah, okay. I wanted to brag a little bit about our amazing superintendent. I got special permission to go see her session at the Washington State PTA Legislative Assembly that they held all weekend. They invited 4 superintendents from across the state that represented, varying sizes of districts, and just to talk about some of their ways that they're dealing with some of the challenges, what things they have in common, and Dr. Suding did such a great job, and they shared kind of their platform and what they would like to see the legislature focus on, and how much we all have in common across the state, and how every district is struggling across the state with 3 of the very similar topics, what they call them the big 3, and how it would be great if all of our amazing parents and teachers and community members and volunteers would also speak up and share with their legislatures across the state for the future, for making changes and fully funding education. So she did a great job, and I was really proud, and it was fun to be in the back there watching and a little cheerleading from the back. But I just wanted to share that I have a kid that's in the pit orchestra for the Tempest, and so he's very excited to make some noise in the pit. It's pretty exciting, and that starts on Friday, so he'll miss the football game because you can't be in 2 places at the same time. He's learning, but that's exciting that they start that this week, and it goes until I think the night. It's pretty great. Also, I had a great visit when I visited Camp Prairie last week. Got to be outside at recess and it was sunny and fun and watching the kids play the Gaga ball. That was fun and then we got to see the student pickup in action and that was
Yes.
quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, we were sitting.
And
right
we
there.
noticed that maybe not everybody reads all the signs.
We had to go look at the sign too. Do they know that?
Doesn't, they're just driving right past the do not go in here sign, so it was kind of interesting. And it's just really great to see kids learning and seeing them in action and see the teachers and the amazing passion and energy and excitement that they have. So really rewarding to see students learning in action.
Can I interject real quick? I happened to be downtown trying to pick up a little order at Stilly Diner and they were doing the pumpkin roll down the hill.
Oh, yes.
And I got a little bit clumped because when we first moved here in 2006, I remember dressing up my kiddos who were quite young then and doing the downtown Halloween, trick or treat. And I tell you, we live in a very special place. And people come from Bellingham to come down here. And I'm sure the Lakewood kiddos came over, but the parents were dressed up. The kids were getting pulled in wagons. I think I saw some dogs dressed up. I saw your mom with your little sister. Now I was like, oh my, what are you? What are you wearing? The little bonnet? Oh, she was just your mother was great. Anyway, it was great. And I'd forgotten. I said, oh, I picked the wrong day to come down on a Saturday morning. Thank goodness it wasn't Super Saturday because that would have been the bang, but it just feels, and again, that's why I see the schools. The schools are integral to our community. It's just, yeah, that's the way I see it.
Thanks for sharing. It's pretty great. I wanted to remind everybody about our next meeting, and I wanted to point out that the next regular meeting is on a Tuesday, not a Monday next time. So it's Tuesday, November 12th, because Monday is a holiday for some of us that don't have to work. But for some of us that do have to work, it's just a Monday. So don't forget, next meeting is Tuesday, November 12th. 6 p.m. right here in the boardroom. So with that, do we have anything else? Or do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So that was a motion by
Lightning
Director
fast.
Diamond and a second by everybody else, but we'll just say Director Knapp, just for fun. Madam Director Diamond,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Watts,
I.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Knapp.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Drive safe, everybody.
I was just trying to be.
No, and